Okay, welcome to a little bit of help for the practical for Windows Registry topic. I've actually opened up some things, I have some tabs open on my browser window here, and I happen to have opened up already the lab sheet for the practical, and I've also opened up the presentation for this topic. So what are we going to be doing? Well, we've been given two programs to help with our analysis of the registry, and these two programs you can see here, we've got Regripper and we've got something called Fred. Both of these programs are Windows executable files, so you can get Regripper to work for Linux. I've gone for the very lazy option. I've spun up a Windows machine, so I have a Windows VM running over here, and I've got Fred open, the forensic registry editor, and I've got Regripper open over here. So I have those two applications ready to go. Now, your tasks are to ensure that you've identified all of the users and programs that have been installed, identify the registry files on the image and extract them. So we've already identified the users and programs because we did that in the previous lab. Now we need to identify the registry files and we need to extract them. We need to name them appropriately, okay, and then we need to extract all this information. So we need the NT user registry file for each user, we need the system hive file, the software hive file, and the SAM hive file. So this is the reason why I have the presentation open, because a little bit down in the presentation I state the location of these files. So I already have this mounted, so my image is already mounted, and I'm interested, let's pick up the NT user file to start with. That's located in Documents and Settings, User Account, or Users User Account. So in Documents and Settings I have Barry, in here I then have my ntuser.dat file. I also have my users, Barry, and in there, again, I have my ntuser.dat file. I'll leave you to do an MD5 sum of those two files to see if they are actually identical, but we will need to extract that file. We also need to extract the system, the software, and the SAM hive. Now, the SAM, the software, and system hive are all located in Windows/system32/config, and therefore if I go to Windows/system32/config, I am able to see the SAM hive. I'm able to see the security, so the software hive, which we need, and I'm also able to see the system hive. So that means I'm able to extract the various hives that I need from my image. You can do this in the way that I'm doing it, so having mounted the image, you can do it without mounting the image using FLS to identify where these hives are, and then you can extract them using iCat if you want to do it that way. So I happen to have these files. I've actually stuck them onto my Windows machine, so I have my system, my SAM, my software, my NT user file, and the very first thing that I did was I used Regripper, and Regripper says, can you give me the hive file? I've given it one of the hive files. You have to specify what the report file is going to be. You then need to ensure that you select the correct profile. So to start with, we've got NT user, we've also got SAM, we've got software, and we've got system that we're going to have to rip out. And then once we've done that, when we click the rip button, Regripper is going to go through and generate our output file that is going to have lots of information that we're able to extract from the registry. So let's have a quick look to see what we end up with. We will end up with some files like this. So here's my NT user for Barry. It's a log file, right? That's not the one I'm interested in, but it tells me how Regripper worked. The one I'm interested in is the output.txt. So this gives me all of the information that is contained. Now, I'd like to close that without saving. If I go down to the system hive file, well, let's have a quick look at that. My system output.txt. I'm due to look at the time zone, so I can just do some nice little searches here, if I can. I already have a version of this open. My apologies. I can do a quick search here for time zone, and that will give me an idea about where this time zone information is kept. I can also have, so if I just quickly go into the appropriate directory, you can see my files here. I can also cat these files, so I can do this direct from terminal if I wanted to, and do exactly the same thing. I'm going to grep on time zone. That doesn't give me what I want, so I'm then going to have to use -a. Let's have a look at the 5 lines after where we find time zone. Actually, let's have a look at the 10 lines after where we find time zone. And we're able to explore the data using the lines before and after, where we've done some pattern match. So if we want to do before, lines before, it's -b. If we want to do after, it's -a. If we want to do both before and after, it's -c. So getting to grips with using grep is probably quite good. And one of the reasons for that is because you have to do things like finding the last internet IP address. If I go to my system output.txt, if I do something like a search for IP, I have 246 matches. Well, that's not great. So maybe actually what I want to do is I want to search for an IP address, and an IP address is going to be 1, 2, or 3 numbers followed by a dot, and then 1, 2, or 3 numbers followed by a dot, and then 1, 2, or 3 numbers followed by a dot, and then 1, 2, or 3 numbers. But I can't really describe that very well here. I have a dot, and that gives me 2,000 odd matches. However, grep gives me the ability to write some regular expressions, so I can actually write a nice little regex. And what I want to do is I want to find so a number between 0 and 9, and that could be 1 to 3 times, and that is going to be followed by a dot. And I'm going to be a little bit cheekier. I'm just going to say that there's going to be 3 lots of those. So okay, I'm not exactly matching 4 numbers separated by 3 dots. I'm just matching 3 sets of numbers followed by a dot. And that will give me lots of examples of that. And some of those examples are, of course, exactly what I'm looking for. So this is a very nice way of parsing the output from RegRipper. If I go back to my Windows machine, and if I have a look at the at FRED, my forensic registry editor, I can actually interact with this in a very similar way to the way that I'd interact with the registry through regedit if I was native on the machine or remote on the machine. And it gives me the ability to do a whole variety of things, like navigating through the software hive of this individual, looking at Internet Explorer, and then I can look at whatever the start page is, which is another question that you're asked. So those are really a couple of techniques of finding the information from the various hive files. We're going to extract that data, we're going to have it as text, we're going to be able to search for it using some text editor, we're going to be able to search for it using grep, we're going to be able to navigate through the hive without having to extract this information using FRED. So, well, I hope this helped, guys.